Santa Cruz, California. Santa Cruz, /ßęntə ഃkruːz/, Spanish for Holy Cross, is the county seat and largest city of Santa Cruz County, California. As of 2018, the U.S. Census Bureau estimated Santa Cruz's population at 64,725. Situated on the northern edge of Monterey Bay, about 32 miles, 51 kilometers, south of San Jose and 75 miles, 120 kilometers, south of San Francisco, the city is part of the 12-county San Jose-San Francisco-Oakland combined statistical area. Santa Cruz is known for its moderate climate, natural environment, coastline, redwood forests, alternative community lifestyles, and socially liberal leanings. It is also home to the University of California, Santa Cruz, a premier research institution and educational hub, as well as the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, an oceanfront amusement park operating continuously since 1907. The present-day site of Santa Cruz was the location of Spanish settlement beginning in 1791, including Mission Santa Cruz and the pueblo of Branciforte. The city of Santa Cruz was incorporated in 1866 and chartered in April 1876. Important early industries included lumber, gunpowder, lime, and agriculture. Late in the 19th century, Santa Cruz established itself as a beach resort community. History: the Awasway and pre-contact period. Prior to the arrival of Spanish soldiers, missionaries, and colonists in the late 18th century, Santa Cruz County was home to the Awaswas natives. The misnomer Olón, while often used to describe the native people of the Santa Cruz area, is a generalized name for the many diverse groups that lived in the region stretching from San Francisco to the Monterey Bay. The diverse and numerous tribes of this region were also earlier referred to by the Spanish as Costañón. The term Olón has been used in place of Costañón since the 1970s by some descendant groups and by most ethnographers, historians, and writers of popular literature. Awasway was one of the 8 Costañón languages and made up a tribe of Native Americans living in western Santa Cruz County, stretching slightly north of Davenport to Rio del Marche. The Awaswas tribe was made up of no more than 1,000 people and their language is now extinct. The only remnants of their spoken language are 3 local place names, Aptos, Socal, and ʻsæntə, and the name of a native shellfish abalone. The majority of Olón or Costañón tribes had no written language, and lived in small villages scattered around the Monterey Bay and San Francisco Bay regions. Within 50 years of the Spaniards' arrival, the Olón or Costañón culture and way of life had virtually disappeared in the Bay Area. Today, 2 of the Costañón tribes, the Awasway people missionized in Santa Cruz and the Mutsun people missionized at San Juan Bautista, have joined together as the Ama Mutsan tribal band in an effort to protect and maintain the authentic and distinct cultural history and practices. Spanish/Mexican period. The first European land exploration of Alta California, the Spanish Portola expedition led by Gaspar de Portola, passed through the area on its way north, still searching for the port of Monterey described by Sebastián Vizcaíno in 1602. The party forded the river, probably near where the Soquel Avenue Bridge now stands, and camped nearby on October 17, 1769. Franciscan missionary Juan Crespi, traveling with the expedition, noted in his diary that, this river was named San Lorenzo, for St. Lawrence. Next morning, the expedition set out again, and Crespi noted that, 500 steps after we started we crossed a good arroyo of running water which descends from some high hills where it rises. It was named El Arroyo de la Santísima Cruz, which translates literally as the stream of the Most Holy Cross. In 1791, Father Fermín Lasuen continued the use of Crespi's name when he declared the establishment of La Misión de la Exaltación de la Santa Cruz, also known as Mission Santa Cruz, for the conversion of the Awaswas of Xitamu and surrounding Olón villages. Santa Cruz was the 12th mission to be founded in California. The creek, however, later lost the name, and is known today as Laurel Creek because it parallels Laurel Street. It is the main feeder of Neary Lagoon. In 1797, Governor Diego de Borica, by order of the Viceroy of New Spain, Miguel de la Grua Talamanca y Branciforte, Marc de Branciforte, established the Villa de Branciforte, a town named in honor of the Viceroy. One of only 3 civilian towns established in California during the Spanish colonial period, the other 2 became Los Angeles and San Jose. The villa was located across the San Lorenzo River, less than a mile from the mission. Its original main street is now North Branciforte Avenue. Villa de Branciforte later lost its civic status, and in 1905 the area was annexed into the city of Santa Cruz. In the 1820s, newly independent Mexico assumed control of the area. Following the secularization of the mission in 1834, the government attempted to rename the community that had grown up around the mission, to Pueblo de Figueroa, after a former governor. The Pueblo designation was never made official, however. The new name didn't catch on and Santa Cruz remained Santa Cruz. Mission farming and grazing lands, which once extended from the San Lorenzo River north along the coast to approximately today's Santa Cruz County border, were taken away and broken up into large land grants called ranchos. The grants were made by several different governors between 1834 and 1845, see List of ranchos of California. Only 2 ranchos were totally within the boundaries of today's city of Santa Cruz. Rancho Potrero y Rincón de San Pedro Regalado consisted mostly of flat, river-bottom pasture land north of Mission Hill. Potrero translates as pasture. Rancho Tres Ojos de Agua was on the west side. 3 other rancho boundaries later became part of the modern city limits: Rancho Refugio on the west, Rancho Carbonera on the north, and Rancho Arroyo del Rodeo on the east. After secularization put most California land into private hands, immigrants from the United States began to arrive in steadily increasing numbers, especially in the 1840s when overland routes like the California Trail were opened. In 1848, following the Mexican-American War, Mexico ceded the territory of Alta California to the U.S. in the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. California was the first portion of the territory to become a state, in 1850. Santa Cruz County was established the same year, and Santa Cruz was incorporated as a town in 1866. The Santa Cruz Mission, along with the other 21 Franciscan missions, was secularized within a few years after 1833. Even before secularization, the Indian population had declined, and the adobe buildings slowly began to fall apart from wet weather and lack of maintenance. The chapel tower fell in 1840 and the entire front wall was destroyed in the 1857 Fort Tejon earthquake. In 1858 a modern church was built next door to the remaining rear portion of the chapel. That remainder was demolished in 1889, when today's Holy Cross Church was built on the site, in a Gothic style. The native people. The Native Americans of Santa Cruz are known to be the Ohlone people, who occupied the area from Monterey to San Francisco. The Spanish called them costeños. Costeños is derived from the Spanish word costa, coast. Ohlone is a more recent name for the same language group. The costeños, anglicized as costanon, people spoke 8 known dialects, each defining a different tribelet area. During the Mission era, the number of native people in the Bay Area, including Santa Cruz, began to rapidly decrease. Many natives brought to live at the missions, neophytes, died from European diseases to which they had no resistance. As the missions closed, most of the remaining neophytes living at the missions became laborers on the ranchos that inherited the former mission lands. The ancestors of the Costanon people are thought to have originally migrated to the San Francisco and Monterey Bay Area from the San Joaquin-Sacramento River system sometime around AD 500. With the arrival of the Spanish, the Costanon people experienced a cultural disruption. During their time with the missions, the Costanon people experienced cultural shock, mistreatment, and diseases brought from Europe. In 1834, 14 years after Mexico won its independence from Spain, the 21 California missions were secularized. The vast lands they were supposed to be holding in trust for converted natives went instead mostly to friends and relatives of the Alta California government, including some foreign immigrants who had married into Californio families. The remaining Costanon/O lone mission residents struggled to survive, and many became servants or agricultural laborers or vaqueros, cowboys. Some small communities were formed after this which promoted old ways but in different locations from their homelands. Early years of industry. Elihu Anthony, 1818–1905, arrived in Santa Cruz, California in 1847 and opened many firsts for the city of Santa Cruz, including the first Protestant church, the first blacksmith foundry. He built the first wharf and was the first postmaster. He developed the first commercial blocks in downtown Santa Cruz with his early blacksmith foundry located at the corner of Pacific Street and Mission Street. Anthony with Frederick A. Hinn, built the first private water supply network in the city and serving nearby communities. The establishment of railroad lines in Santa Cruz in 1876 until 1881 with the Santa Cruz Railroad, brought workers to Santa Cruz and provided market access for the city's timber, leather, and limestone industries. Civil War. California Powder Works began manufacturing blasting powder for California mining when normal supplies were interrupted by the American Civil War. A powder mill built on the San Lorenzo River upstream of Santa Cruz used charcoal and powder kegs manufactured from local forests. The mill later manufactured smokeless powder used in United States Army Krag-Jørgensen rifles and guns of the United States Navy Pacific and Asiatic fleets. The mill was heavily damaged by a series of explosions on the evening of April 26, 1898. The explosions caused flaming debris to fall on Mission Hill and caused fires threatening the city. The powder works employed 150 to 275 men until operations ceased in 1914. Recent history. Santa Cruz was hard hit by the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake that killed 3 people. It was also hit by ocean surges caused by the 2011 Oku earthquake and tsunami, wherein the Santa Cruz small craft harbor sustained an estimated $10 million of damage, with another $4 million of damage to docked boats there. Social activism. Founded in 1976, the Resource Center for Nonviolence is one of the oldest and most centrally located nonprofit organizations committed to political and social activism in Santa Cruz County. The center is dedicated to promoting the principles of nonviolent social change and enhancing the quality of life and human dignity. In 1998, the Santa Cruz community declared itself a nuclear-free zone, and in 2003, the Santa Cruz City Council became the first city council in the U.S. to denounce the Iraq War. The City Council of Santa Cruz also issued a proclamation opposing the USA Patriot Act. As a center of liberal and progressive activism, Santa Cruz became one of the first cities to approve marijuana for medicinal uses. In 1992, residents overwhelmingly approved Measure A, which allowed for the medicinal uses of marijuana. Santa Cruz was home to the second above-ground medical marijuana club in the world when the Santa Cruz Cannabis Buyers Club opened its doors in April 1995. Santa Cruz also became one of the first cities in California to test the state's medical marijuana laws in court after the arrest of Valerie Corral and Mike Corral, founders of the WO/Men's Alliance for Medical Marijuana, by the DEA. The case was ruled in favor of the growers. In 2005, the Santa Cruz City Council established a city government office to assist residents with obtaining medical marijuana. On November 7, 2006, the voters of Santa Cruz passed Measure K by a vote of 64-36%. Measure K made adult non-medical cannabis offenses the lowest priority for law enforcement. This does not apply to cultivation, distribution, sale in public, sale to minors, or driving under the influence. The measure requests the Santa Cruz City Clerk send letters annually to state and federal representatives advocating reform of cannabis laws. Notable feminist activists Nikki Kraft and Ann Simonton resided in Santa Cruz, where they formed the Praying Mantis Brigade. This collection of activists organized the Myth California pageant in the 1980s, protesting the objectification of women and the glorification of the beauty myth. Myth California was staged concurrently with the Miss California pageant held in Santa Cruz since the 1920s. The protests ran for 9 years and eventually contributed to the Miss California pageant leaving Santa Cruz. Simonton founded and coordinates the non-profit group Media Watch, which monitors and critiques media images of women and ethnic minorities. Beginning in 1983, Santa Cruz has hosted an annual Take Back the Night candle light vigil, rally, march, and protest focusing on the issue of violence against women. Riots occurred on May 1, 2010, sparked when leftist extremists threw jugs of paint at police cars and painted anarchist symbols and anti-capitalist phrases onto buildings. Property damages are estimated to top roughly $100,000. Prior to the riot, a May Day rally was being held for worker and immigrant rights. According to police, the rally was infiltrated by a local anarchists group, who used the rally as a cover for attacking corporate premises. The riots started when the protesters began vandalizing nearby buildings. By 10:30 p.m., approximately a dozen buildings were already vandalized. The scene then intensified when a group of about 10 people began breaking storefront windows at approximately 11:05 p.m. Several police officers were stationed downtown, but retreated after protesters threw stones at their vehicles. After calling in backup resources from around the county, law enforcement reached the riots at 11:23 p.m., over 45 minutes after it began, the delay due to a large number of phony 911 calls, which diverted the police force all around the county. Occupy Santa Cruz formed as an autonomous organization in solidarity with the worldwide Occupy movement, a broad-based protest against economic and social inequality. Occupy Santa Cruz was most active in the fall of 2011, and included over 1,000 active members at its peak. The organization gained most of its publicity when members entered an empty bank building owned by Wells Fargo, and occupied the building for 72 hours. 11 criminal charges were filed, at least 7 of which have since been dropped. Geography. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city covers an area of 15.8 square miles, 41 square kilometers, of which 12.7 square miles, 33 square kilometers, is land, and 3.1 square miles, 8.0 square kilometers, 19.51% is water. To Santa Cruz locals, the area is often discussed in 3 distinct regions: East Side, West Side, and Midtown. Climate. Santa Cruz has mild weather throughout the year, experiencing a warm summer Mediterranean climate characterized by cool, wet winters and warm, mostly dry summers. Due to its proximity to Monterey Bay, fog and low overcast are common during the night and morning hours, especially in the summer. Santa Cruz frequently experiences an Indian summer, with the year's warmest temperatures often occurring in the autumn. Economy. The principal industries of Santa Cruz are agriculture, tourism, education, UC Santa Cruz, and high technology. Santa Cruz is a center of the organic agriculture movement, and many specialty products, as well as housing the headquarters of California certified organic farmers. Tourist attractions include the classic Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk on the beach, the redwood forests in the Santa Cruz Mountains above the town, and Monterey Bay, which is protected as a marine sanctuary. Top employers. As of 2018, the top employers in the city were: Demographics. 2000. Recorded from the census of 2000, there were 54,593 people total, with 20,442 households and 10,404 families residing in the city. The population density includes 1,682.2/km superscript 2, 4,356.0/sq mi. There were 21,504 housing units at an average density of 1,715.8 per square mile, 662.6/km superscript 2. The racial makeup of the city was 78.7% white, 17.4% Hispanic or Latino, 1.7% African American, 0.9% Native American, 4.9% Asian, 0.1% Pacific Islander, 9.1% from other races, and 4.5% from two or more races. There were 20,442 households, out of which 25.1% had children under the age of 18 living with them, 37.0% were married couples living together, 9.6% had a female householder with no husband present, and 49.1% were non-families. 29.3% of all households were made up of individuals, and 7.6% had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.44 and the average family size was 2.98. In the city, the age distribution of the population shows 17.3% under the age of 18, 20.5% from 18 to 24, 32.6% from 25 to 44, 21.0% from 45 to 64, and 8.5% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 32 years. For every 100 females, there were 99.2 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 97.9 males age 18 and over. The median income for a household in the city was $50,605, and the median income for a family was $62,231. These figures had risen to $59,172 and $80,496 respectively as of a 2007 estimate. Males had a median income of $44,751 versus $32,699 for females. The per capita income for the city was $25,758. About 6.6% of families and 16.5% of the population were below the poverty line, including 12.5% of those under age 18 and 4.8% of those age 65 or over. 2010. The 2010 United States Census reported that Santa Cruz had a population of 59,946. The population density was 3,787.2 people per square mile, 1,462.3/km superscript 2. The racial makeup of Santa Cruz was 44,661, 74.5%. White, 1,071, 1.8%. African American, 440, 0.7%. Native American, 4,591, 7.7%. Asian, 108, 0.2%. Pacific Islander, 5,673, 9.5%, from other races, and 3,402, 5.7%, from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 11,624 persons, 19.4%. The census reported that 51,657 people, 86.2% of the population, lived in households, 7,910, 13.2%, lived in non-institutionalized group quarters, and 379, 0.6%, were institutionalized. There were 21,657 households, out of which 4,817, 22.2%, had children under the age of 18 living in them, 7,310, 33.8%, were opposite-sex married couples living together, 1,833, 8.5%, had a female householder with no husband present, 862, 4.0%, had a male householder with no wife present. There were 1,802, 8.3%, unmarried opposite-sex partnerships, and 379, 1.8%, same-sex married couples or partnerships. 6,773 households, 31.3%, were made up of individuals, and 1,862, 8.6%, had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.39. There were 10,005 families, 46.2% of all households. The average family size was 2.92. The age distribution of the population shows 8,196 people, 13.7%, under the age of 18, 17,449 people, 29.1%, aged 18 to 24, 15,033 people, 25.1%, aged 25 to 44, 13,983 people, 23.3%, aged 45 to 64, and 5,285 people, 8.8%, who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 29.9 years. For every 100 females, there were 100.5 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 99.7 males. There were 23,316 housing units at an average density of 1,473.0 per square mile, 568.7/km superscript 2, of which 9,375, 43.3%, were owner-occupied, and 12,282, 56.7%, were occupied by renters. The homeowner vacancy rate was 1.2%, the rental vacancy rate was 3.4%. 22,861 people, 38.1% of the population, lived in owner-occupied housing units, and 28,796 people, 48.0%, lived in rental housing units. The median price of a home being $640,000 as of April 2013. Crime and public safety. Santa Cruz consistently suffers the highest property crime rates per capita for medium and large-sized cities in the state of California, in addition to some of the highest violent crime rates in the state of California for medium and large-sized cities. Additionally, Santa Cruz suffers some of the highest rates of homelessness in the U.S., with 9,041 estimated homeless in Santa Cruz County in 2011, approximately 3.5% of the total county population. With over 52% of homeless experiencing some form of mental illness, including clinical depression or PTSD, and over 26% suffering unspecified mental illness. Additionally, 38% of homeless surveyed in Santa Cruz County in 2011 experienced drug and/or alcohol dependency. In recent years, citizen groups such as Take Back Santa Cruz, established in 2009, have lobbied city government and officials to address this public safety crisis that has gathered national attention. In 1973, with the discovery of 4 bodies in Henry Cowell Redwoods State Park, then District Attorney Peter Chong mumbled a comment about Murderville, USA. It was picked up by a reporter and went to wire service as Murder Capital of the World. Government. In the California State Legislature, Santa Cruz is in the 17th Senate District, represented by Democrat Bill Monning, and in the 29th Assembly District, represented by Democrat Mark Stone. In the United States House of Representatives, Santa Cruz is split between California's 18th Congressional District, represented by Democrat Anna Eshoo, and California's 20th Congressional District, represented by Democrat Jimmy Panetta. Sister cities. Santa Cruz has 5 sister cities in other nations, cities chosen to strengthen international connections. A volunteer committee of citizens organizes cultural exchange opportunities, humanitarian projects, and commercial ties between Santa Cruz and its sister cities. Transportation. State Routes 1 and 17 are the main roads in and out of Santa Cruz, with the latter being the primary route north to San Jose and the rest of the San Francisco Bay Area. Geographically constrained between the Santa Cruz Mountains and the Monterey Bay, the narrow transportation corridor served by SR1, California's Pacific Coast Highway, suffers excessive congestion. The ramp from SR1 northbound to State Route 17 southbound, onto Ocean Street, is commonly known as the Fish Hook due to its tightening curve. A project to widen the highway and this interchange was begun in 2006 and completed in the fall of 2008. Horse cars offered tram service from 1876, and the Santa Cruz, Garfield Park, and Capitola Electric Railroad began operations in 1881. The Union Traction Company consolidated 3 electric tram service routes in 1904. One line ran from De La Viaga Park along Water Street and Pacific Avenue to the beach, another from Ocean Cliffs to downtown along what would become SR1, and a line through Seabright to Capitola was completed in 1906. Competition from automobiles ended streetcar service in 1926. The Santa Cruz Metropolitan Transit District now provides bus service throughout Santa Cruz County. Amtrak serves Santa Cruz via Amtrak Thruway Motor Coach from rail connections at Amtrak San Jose Diridon train station operated by the Santa Cruz Metropolitan Transit District by way of a partnership with the Amtrak, Capital Corridor, and Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority. Other rail connections such as Altamont Corridor Express and Caltrain are also available at Amtrak's San Jose Passenger Station. Greyhound Line's bus service is another, albeit less commonly used, option for visiting Santa Cruz. The nearest airports served by major commercial airlines are San Jose International Airport, Monterey Regional Airport, San Francisco International Airport, and Oakland International Airport. The nearest public airport of any kind is Watsonville Municipal Airport, about 8 miles to the southeast, which serves general aviation users. Santa Cruz has an extensive network of bike lanes and bike paths. Most major roads have bike lanes, and wide bike lanes were recently installed on Beach Street, near the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Additionally, there are levee bike paths along the San Lorenzo River. A rail trail, a bicycle and pedestrian path beside an existing coastal train track is under consideration. The Santa Cruz, Big Trees, and Pacific Railway operates diesel-electric tourist trains between the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk and Roaring Camp in Felton, through Henry Cowell Redwood State Park, with its famous Redwood Grove walking trail. The Santa Cruz Railroad was a narrow-gauge railroad that operated between Santa Cruz and Pajaro, California. Education. Santa Cruz is home to several notable educational institutions, including Soquel High School, Aptos High School, Harbor High School, Georgiana Bruce Kirby Preparatory School, a grade 6-12 private school, Pacific Collegiate School, a grade 7-12 charter school, Cypress Charter High School, Santa Cruz Montessori, an 18 months to 15 years private school, Monterey Coast Preparatory, also a 6-12 private school, Santa Cruz High School, the University of California, Santa Cruz, Cabrillo College, which is located in nearby Aptos and Watsonville and holds some classes within Santa Cruz City, and 5 branches University. The Long Marine Laboratory is a marine research facility on the western edge of the city. Tourism. Downtown. By the 1860s, Pacific Avenue had become the main street of downtown Santa Cruz, and remains so today. Local architect Kermit Darrow and landscape architect Roy Rydell were engaged in 1969 to convert several blocks of Pacific Avenue into a semi-pedestrian street named the Pacific Garden Mall. The Loma Prieta earthquake of 1989 destroyed nearly all of the 19th-century buildings in the downtown area. After the earthquake, the Pacific Garden Mall theme was eliminated, and an updated downtown design plan by Roma Design Group was implemented. As of 2016, only one empty lot remains on Pacific Avenue from the destruction of the 1989 earthquake. Downtown Santa Cruz houses a variety of storefronts and businesses. It is also stage to many street performers, musicians, and artists, oftentimes creating the presence of background music and miscellaneous street-side entertainment when visiting downtown. Consequently, Pacific Avenue serves as an outlet for the artistic and unique culture that Santa Cruz possesses. Parks, beaches, greenbelt districts, and marine protected areas. Santa Cruz is home to several state parks and beaches, including Lighthouse Field State Beach, Natural Bridges State Beach, Santa Cruz Mission State Historic Park, Twin Lakes State Beach, and Seabright State Beach. Santa Cruz has 3 greenbelt open space properties along the city limits, including Arana Gulch, Moore Creek, and Pogonip. There are also 5 community parks and 18 neighborhood parks. Poganip Open Space is located adjacent to the University of California, Santa Cruz. It includes second-growth oak and redwood forest, meadows, and several streams, and is crossed by several hiking trails. Poganip was the name of the former country club there, which once had a golf course and polo field. The name Poganip was derived from a combination of polo, golf, and the alcoholic nip that sometimes followed or accompanied those pursuits. Natural Bridges State Marine Reserve is a marine protected area off the coast at the northern edge of Santa Cruz. Like underwater parks, marine protected areas help conserve ocean wildlife and marine ecosystems. Most of the rest of the coastline of Santa Cruz lies adjacent to the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Sports and recreation. Santa Cruz is well known for water sports such as sailing, diving, swimming, stand-up paddle boarding, paddling, and is regarded as one of the best spots in the world for surfing. It is the home of O'Neill wetsuits and Santa Cruz surfboards, as well as Santa Cruz skateboards and Santa Cruz bicycles. The Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk is California's oldest amusement park and a designated state historic landmark. It is family-operated, and celebrated its centennial in 2007. It is home to the iconic Giant Dipper roller coaster, which is currently the 5th oldest coaster in the United States. Home to a National Historic Landmark, a 1911 Charles I de Louf carousel and 1924 Giant Dipper roller coaster, the boardwalk has been owned and operated by the Santa Cruz Seaside Company since 1915. In one of the first published descriptions of surfing in California, 3 Hawaiian princes, Prince David Kananako, Prince Edward Abnal Kili'iahanui and Prince Jonah Kalani Anale, surfed on locally milled redwood boards at the mouth of the San Lorenzo River in July 1885. Santa Cruz has 11 world-class surf breaks, including the point breaks over rock bottoms near Steamer Lane and Pleasure Point, which create some of the best surfing waves in the world. The Santa Cruz Surfing Museum at Steamer Lane is staffed by docents from the Santa Cruz Surfing Club who have surfed Santa Cruz waves since the 1930s. Santa Cruz hosts several surf contests drawing international participants each year, including the O'Neill Cold Water Classic, the International Longboard Association Contest, and many others. The Santa Cruz Wharf is known for fishing, viewing marine mammals and other recreation. Local parks offer many opportunities for birding and butterfly watching, as well as outdoor sports such as skateboarding, cycling, camping, hiking, and rock climbing. The Santa Cruz Skate Park is open to the public 7 days a week and is free. In addition to its reputation in Sur.